Hey guys, this is Mateus Canteri. I'm a professional musician here in Nashville, Tennessee, where playing hot chicken picking licks is the only way to survive. And today I want to talk about the track Nervous Breakdown by Brad Paisley. That's a really great track, and I want to talk about the main riff and how he kind of built that phrase. So let's get to it. First thing we gotta look at are the chords. First we have one bar of G, which is the 1 chord, one bar of C, which is the 4 chord, back to G for another bar, and then one bar in D. Then it starts again, one bar over the 1 chord, one bar over the 4 chord, and then it's a split bar, 1, 5, back to 1. So over that 1 chord, first thing he plays is, that's the phrase. So basically he's using, as you can see, he's using the minor pentatonic here, the G minor pentatonic. So he's thinking kind of in a bluesy way, right? Using the minor pentatonic over a major chord. But he's also using the open strings. Now the open strings, if we think about it, some of them are in that same scale, the G minor pentatonic scale, but a few of them are not. For example, the B and the E. Those two notes are not in the minor pentatonic, but they are in the major pentatonic, so I guess that's where he got those from. If you think about the G major pentatonic, then you have all the open strings. So it's a mixture of those two scales, and I've talked about this on another lesson. My lesson about phrasing, and the other one about mixing major and minor pentatonic, and how important that is if you want to become a country guitarist. So make sure you guys check that out if you haven't already. So yeah, basically he's just using the minor pentatonic with a couple notes from the major pentatonic over the 1 chord. Now when he goes to the 4, then he does. So this right here, he's thinking about C major. You guys remember that lick? I talked about it as well. It's the most common major pentatonic lick ever. But basically, I'm just showing you this because it's the same scale and sort of emphasizing the same interval. So he slides to the major third of the C chord, which is E. And then he hits the root here, and then right after he kind of does the same shape he's using with this left hand, and then he's emphasizing the flat 7. So he's thinking about this 4 chord as a dominant chord, which is very bluesy as well. In blues sometimes they will use those 3 chords as dominant chords, major chords with a flat 7. So he's thinking C7 here. He's emphasizing that interval. In country guitar playing, it's all about the chord shapes and emphasizing the chord tones and all that. So the note here, the lower note, the second one especially, it's kind of muted, and it's used more for the percussive effect than you don't really have to hear that note. 1 chord, and then over the 4 chord. Then he goes back to the 1 chord and does the same thing. Now we go to the 5 chord now, which is a D chord, and he starts the same way he starts the 4 chord. So he slides to the major third of that 5 chord, which is this F sharp, and then he lands on the root, and then he makes his way to the flat 7, the same interval he emphasized on the 4 chord. He's doing the same thing over the 5 chord, but the way he makes his way to the flat 7 is by adding this chromatic passing tone. So it's very cool, Then we're back on the 1 chord. 4 chord again, same way he did before. And then at the very end of that split bar, he does this really cool phrase using the G, mostly the G minor pentatonic. So he's syncing kind of the same scale for both chords. But look at this. So the first 2 beats over the G, he does. Now, as soon as he hits, the band hits that D chord, he lands on this note right here, right with that D chord. So that's very interesting, how he's emphasizing that note with the band. So that's just to show how well crafted that solo is, and those are the kind of things that will make your solo make sense, you know. So that's very important to notice and try to incorporate that into your phrasing. So over the G chord he does, and then now over the D chord he does. Now we added an A note here that's not on the G minor pentatonic, but it is on the G major pentatonic, which is what he uses to kind of wrap up this phrase. So he does. Very common lick over G major here. He's making his way from the second to minor third, major third, root. So the whole thing. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. Make sure you guys check out my Patreon. I don't have the tabs for this one in particular because I don't own the rights to the music, so I can't be putting out that sheet music for you. But I have a lot more content there for you. A bunch of really cool solos that I built over classic songs, and some tabs from my lessons here on YouTube as well. And make sure you guys check out all the playlists I have here with a bunch of free lessons for you. Check out my music on Spotify, and don't forget to click like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.